Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome to my channel. My name's Ella. Hello, if you are new. So it's been a while. I feel like I say that all the time because I end up not filming for ages. But to be fair, I have excuses. But we're getting back on it now. I asked you guys over on my Instagram the other day to ask me some wedding related questions. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, that's where I ask you guys to send me questions for any Q&As that I do. So if you don't follow me, then I will leave my information in the box below anyway, so you can go and find me. I got married. I am now a Mrs. I am now Mrs. Murray, which sounds so strange because that's Ryan's mum, that's not me. But it is me now. So I thought what I would do, I've uploaded quite a lot of baby related content recently. For those that don't know, I'm currently pregnant with our first baby, and we got married almost 7 weeks ago now. So yeah, I asked you guys to send me in some wedding related questions that I'm gonna sit and answer now. I've got myself a peppermint tea in my Mrs. mug because I thought, how apt. And I've got your guys' questions from Instagram. So I thought I would just scroll through them and answer a few questions. Okay, so these have all come in like a random order, so there's not going to be any kind of process to this. I'm just going to sit and answer the questions as they come up, basically. Okay, so let's answer some questions. The first one is, how long were you planning the wedding? And I think someone else has asked how, when we got engaged and blah, blah, blah. So, oh, it started raining really bad. So we got engaged in November 2019 and we got married on the 11th of June 2021. So it was just over 18 months that we were engaged for, and I was planning the wedding for probably like a year of that. I think when we first got engaged, we'd planned to have a bit of a long engagement, and then we got our first house and decided, do you know what, why are we waiting? There's no point in having a long engagement. We might as well get married. We're going to do it anyway. So yeah, it ended up being about 18 months in the end that we were engaged for and planning the wedding for. There was quite a lot of questions regarding COVID. One of them is, were there guests or family members you wanted there but couldn't because of COVID? So like I said, we got married on the 11th of June. The restrictions were still in place, but we decided quite early on that we wanted to get married on that date anyway. It was our 8-year anniversary on the day that we got married. So we wanted to get married on our anniversary so that it stayed the same. So we decided quite early on that we were going to get married regardless of the restrictions. It did turn out that we could only have 30 people at the wedding, and that included us as well. So yes, there were people that couldn't be there. We had, our original list had about 70 to 80 guests for the full day, and then around 100, 120 in the evening. We had to cut that down to 28 guests at the end of the day because it was 30 people, which included us. So we could have 28 guests. So the easiest way for us to do that was to split it in half, and we then chose who was going to be there. So from my side, I just had my mum, my dad, my 2 brothers, my brother's girlfriend, my granddad and his carer. I had my 2 aunties and my uncle, and then I had my bridesmaids. So I didn't have all of my family there. I couldn't have any of my cousins there, purely because we just didn't have the capacity to have everyone. And that's just kind of how it worked, but everyone was really, really understanding. And you know, we wanted to get married and everyone understood that and were really happy for us anyway. We would like to have a party at some point to celebrate with everyone, but I don't know how or when that's going to happen because we have our baby girl on the way. So maybe next year or at some point we will have a party so that we can celebrate with more people, more friends, more family. But yeah, so we could only have 30 people at the wedding because of COVID, but I promise you, if you're getting married and thinking about postponing it or whatever, obviously everyone is completely different, but our day was absolutely perfect just the way it was. So if you want to get married, go for it. Will you download the wedding video to YouTube? So we received our wedding video last night and we cried like babies. I didn't even get a minute in and I was sobbing, crying. We received our photos a few days before the video and they were all absolutely stunning, lovely photos, but the video, it's just something else, like seeing everyone moving, and you know, it's a moving image at the end of the day, so we kind of get to relive it. So I spoke with the videographer beforehand, who is a family friend anyway, and he sent us a playlist of songs that we wouldn't get copyright for. So I will be uploading our full wedding video to my YouTube channel. I'm hoping to upload this one and it will be the next one that comes out. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you turn on your notification bell, get your tissues, because you're going to need them. Yeah, so I am going to be uploading our full wedding video to YouTube soon. What song did you have playing during your and Ryan's first dance as husband and wife? So we had our song, which has been our song forever, which is a song called Bless the Broken Road by Rascal Flatts. I will leave a link below if you want to listen to it. It's a really like old school country song that we absolutely adore. So yeah, that was our first dance. How did you feel on the day? So I actually felt really calm and relaxed on the day. Everyone kind of kept saying to me like, you're really chilled, like, are you okay? And honestly, I was really like just chilled out. I was surrounded by my family and my girls, and I was marrying Ryan, and it was like, you know, it was the day that we've waited for, and I was just excited and going with it and taking it all in and enjoying it. I don't think I got nervous at all. I thought that I would on the car journey to the church, but I wasn't. It was just kind of nice. I just felt really chilled and happy all day long, which was lovely. Did you have any bridesmaids? If so, how many? I did. So I had 5 bridesmaids. I had my maid of honour, Lou, who has been one of my best friends since I was born. We have grown up together. I had one of my other best friends, Emma, who is the same situation. I had Ryan's sister, Chloe, and I then had 2 of my friends, Rhiannith and Soph. Rhiannith I met when we were at secondary school, and Soph I met online when I was about 14, and we've been really good friends ever since. So yeah, those were my 5 bridesmaids. A few people have asked this, did you throw the bouquet or who caught the bouquet or whatever? I didn't throw my bouquet. I don't know if it's something that a lot of people do in the UK or if it's an American thing or what, I'm not really sure. It's not something that I particularly wanted to do. My bouquet was absolutely beautiful and I didn't want to throw it anywhere, and I think anyone that plans a wedding knows how much flowers can cost. We were very lucky in that a family member did our flowers and they were absolutely beautiful. They were exactly what I imagined. They were perfect. I did not want to throw them at anyone. They were mine. I wanted to keep them. So I did. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's as big a thing in the UK as it is in other places. I don't know. Did you have a custom made wedding dress? I didn't. So my wedding dress I got from a company called the Wedding Dress Barn. They're based in Kingsclear. Again, I'm going to leave their details down below. I went to see them. I found them randomly. I'm not sure if it was on Facebook or if I was Googling and I found them, but they were really close to where I live. They're local. And it is just a small barn, kind of in the middle of nowhere. They only saw one bride at a time and I thought, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I'd been to Wed to Be previously and I hated the experience. So I wanted somewhere where they were experts and they could advise me and help me. I'd never put on a wedding dress before. I kind of had an idea of what I wanted, and to be honest, that's what I went for in the end. But I went in there and I tried on a few dresses and I put on my dress, which is a Lanesta. It's a Lanesta dress. I think it's called Philippines. But the version that they had in the Wedding Dress Barn, I believe they designed with Lanesta. So the top of my dress was usually paired with a different skirt. But the Wedding Dress Barn paired up with Lanesta and designed a slightly different skirt, which was a lot more simple and elegant, which is exactly what I was looking for. So I didn't have, that's just the dress that I kind of fell in love with, and I put it on, and then the lady in the barn said, okay, let's try a different one on, and if you still like it, then we go back to it and you put it on again, and like just to make sure, which I thought was brilliant. A lot of places that you go to, you'll kind of put on a dress and go, yeah, I like this, and they're like, great, buy it. But they weren't like that there. They were very much, make sure it's the right one and that kind of thing. So that was really good. I did have to have some alterations done because I got my dress just over a year before the wedding and I then fell pregnant. So I was 26 weeks and 4 days on the day that we got married. And little did I know that your rib cage expands when you're pregnant. So I went to put on my dress when I was about 3 months or something, and my rib cage had already expanded and my dress already didn't fit. So I did have to have some alterations done, and I had a wonderful seamstress, again quite local to me, and she put a corset into the back of the dress for me and nothing else changed. So from the front it looked exactly like the dress that I chose in the shop, and from the back it just had a corset up back rather than a zip. So yeah, it wasn't a custom made dress, but I did have to have some alterations done, and it was kind of like a limited edition dress because you can only get it at the place that I got it from. What was the song you walked down the aisle to? I've only just read this one. So I walked down the aisle to Tale as Old as Time from Beauty and the Beast. We had a friend who is a pianist play at the church and at our reception, and he played it, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was just perfect, absolutely perfect. I loved it. How did you feel when you saw Ryan waited for you by the altar? And another one says, did Ryan cry when he saw you for the first time? So honestly, I just felt relaxed. Once I saw him, it was very much like, okay, it's him, you got this. And yes, he did cry. Ryan's quite an emotional person, and he cried quite a lot throughout the day. Everyone made jokes, but what more could you want? I feel like everyone says that. You want, you know, if you walk down the aisle and your husband's not crying, you're walking back out again, kind of thing. I knew that Ryan was going to cry, and we spent a lot of the wedding itself kind of keeping each other going, like squeezing each other's hands, like, you got this, don't completely fall apart. Because that was the one thing that I was worried about, is that I was gonna start crying and then not be able to speak, and then it would all go pear-shaped. But that didn't happen at all, and it was absolutely fine. Did you hire a videographer? Yes, we did. And honestly, if you are planning on getting married and on the edge or not really sure whether to get a videographer or not, because we were in that situation, they are expensive. They cost just as much as a photographer does, but I promise you, get one. It is so worth it, and the experience you get watching a video is completely different to the experience you get looking through the photos. They are both amazing experiences, but I would have paid more for our videographer. Honestly, he was brilliant, and the video is just stunning, and I can't wait for you all to see it. Did you decide on the wedding date before or after you knew you were pregnant? So we booked our wedding in March 2020. March 2020? Yes, because it was just before, we booked our wedding the weekend before we went into national lockdown. So we got engaged November 19. We booked our wedding March 2020, and then we fell pregnant in December 2020. So our wedding was already booked before we fell pregnant. Like I said in my pregnancy Q&A or announcement or something, we had planned to be pregnant at the wedding anyway. We just didn't think we'd be as far along as we were, but it all worked out perfectly, and you know, our little girl was with us on our day. So what kind of cake did you have? Did you have to compromise on flavours? So obviously we only had a limited number of guests, so we were going to have a 3-tier cake. We ended up only having a 2-tier cake, but we went for a lemon drizzle and a chocolate, because lemon drizzle is my absolute favourite, and Ryan is a sucker for chocolate cake. So we just chose one each basically and went for that, and it was lovely. A couple of people have asked me if I got cold feet at all, like before I walked down the aisle or anything like that. I can honestly say hand on heart that not once did I get cold feet or anything. I remember in the morning at one point I took myself off just to kind of sit for a minute. I think I got a bit dizzy. I don't think I'd eaten enough or something. And I just went to sit, and Ryan's sister came and joined me, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I can't remember what we were talking about, but I was like, you know, I'm not, people keep asking me if I'm okay and if I'm nervous and this and that, but I've never been so sure of something in my life. So no, I didn't get any cold feet. I didn't get nervous because I was marrying Ryan, and that was always our plan, and that was always what we wanted. And you know, it was right, and I feel like if it's right, then why would you get cold feet? You know? So no, I never got cold feet. How was it to get married while pregnant? So I have to say, I don't really know. So it wasn't, I loved the fact that I couldn't drink, so I feel like I really took the day in a lot more than if I'd have been drinking. And I know, like my dad didn't drink a lot through the day either, because he said that he wanted to remember it all and he wanted to take it all in. And I feel like that's one thing that I really liked about the fact that I was pregnant, is that I couldn't drink, so I could really take it in. I have to say, partway through dinner, I got really uncomfortable and I had to go and loosen my dress, but that's part of the reason why I had a corset put in the back, because when you're pregnant, well, anytime, you know, as the day goes on, you get more bloated and you expand, and once you've drunk a pint of water or whatever, like your body expands and gets bigger. It's the same in pregnancy, and I got a bit uncomfortable because I'd eaten and drank and I'd been sat down at the table and whatever. So there was only one point that I was like, okay, Mum, I'm really uncomfortable. I need you to come and loosen my dress, please. But apart from that, that was it. I didn't really notice much. I was going to say difference, but I suppose I've got nothing to compare it to. But honestly, it was fine. Like I didn't feel like I wasn't myself or anything like that, because I was, well, what was I? Second trimester, isn't it? Yeah. I think if I was in the first trimester and I was feeling really rough or whatever, then it might have been different. But I was at the stage in my pregnancy where I felt completely like myself, and like I said, other than the fact that I got a bit uncomfortable after dinner, that was it. And I just loosened my dress and I was good to go. Okay, the last one I'm going to do is, what was your favourite memory from the wedding? I don't know. I think, I don't know. It's so cliche, but the whole day was just, it was just perfect. Oh, that's so cliche. Why does everyone say that? But it was so true. The morning, I'll give you a little play-by-play. It might be a bit of a long video, but if you've got your tea, you're fine. So in the morning, I was up. I set an alarm for 6 o'clock. I had a makeup artist who was one of my friends from school come in at 6:30 to start the makeup, because she was doing mine, all of my bridesmaids and my mum. She had to get started early doors. So my alarm went off at 6. I was up and we were getting ready, and the girls came round at about 8ish. So the morning, like the very first thing in the morning, was really nice. Like I just kind of had a cup of tea and was chilling, chatting to Kendra while she was doing my makeup. It was just me and her. And then my parents and my auntie got up and they started faffing around and getting some food ready and stuff like that. And then the girls turned up, and then the photographer and videographer turned up. Anyway, we all got ready, and then the girls left earlier than me, obviously, with my mum, and then me, my dad and my maid of honour left at about 1:30, I think it was. No, that's a lie. It's about 1:15. We were getting married at 2 o'clock at the church. So we were ready and we were kind of just waiting around, like looking at each other. So we just turned to the driver, who is one of my dad's friends, and said, can we just go? So we just left. We got to the church and there was a bunch of like our family friends and some of my friends from work, because I literally work around the corner. They had all come into the office on the day so that they could come and see us at the church. So we got out and we're kind of chatting and whatever, and then we had some pictures, and we then went in and obviously got married. We came out, did the confetti, took a load of photos outside the church. So the church that we got married in, my mum and dad got married in, and Ryan's mum and dad also got married in. So it was quite sentimental for us, and I know my mum and dad have got pictures from their wedding, sort of professional pictures of my grandparents with them and things like that. So I wanted some of those photos as well outside the church. So we did those, and then everyone left. Before we did, I've just thrown tea all down me. God. So everyone else left. Me and Ryan had a couple of pictures outside the church in front of the car, blah, blah, blah. And then we then went to the venue, which was a golf club not too far away. So me and Ryan then got in the car. He gave me his card because he forgot to give it to me beforehand. So he gave me his card for the wedding day, and we drove to the reception venue and everyone was there waiting, and we got out, we went upstairs, we had a drink, and we just kind of chatted to people, and we sort of played it by ear. We're quite chilled out people, and that's what we wanted our wedding to be. It was quite chilled. We just wanted people to relax and have fun and not feel any pressure for any reason. And that's exactly what it was. So we couldn't have asked for anything more. We went up and had a drink, and we were chatting to people and catching up with everyone. So the photographer will then usually take us away at this point before dinner, to do photos and stuff, but he could see that we were kind of chatting, and he came up to us and was like, would you rather do it later on? And I was like, yeah, like if you wouldn't mind. He was like, no, not at all. So we just carried on chatting. We then all sat down and we had the speeches. So I decided that we would do the speeches first because it was my dad doing one, Ryan doing one, and Ryan's little brother, who was his best man, did one. And I didn't want them to sit all the way through the meal worrying about their speeches. So we decided to do speeches first, which we did. We then had dinner, which was lovely. And then we went off to do photos, and everyone else just kind of chilled and chatted and drank and whatever. We went off and did our photos, and then we came back, had our first dance, and then it kind of like ended. A few of us went back to my parents afterwards, but yeah, it was a lovely day. And honestly, if you watch our wedding video, which like I said I'm going to upload, you will just see everyone looks so happy all day. Like me and Ryan, but also all of our guests and all of our family. And there's a shot of us, everyone throwing confetti at us. And if you just look down both sides, everyone is just smiling and everyone is just so happy, and there's so much love like in the video. I just love it, and I think you guys are going to love it too. I hope you do. I hope you love it as much as we do. But yeah, that's it for my wedding Q&A. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments. If you've got any questions or anything, then just let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm hoping to upload our wedding video after this one. So it's exciting. Can't wait. Please, if you liked this, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn your notifications on so that you don't miss our wedding video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.